Hello everyone, this is your June, your philosophy and social science teacher. And today's video, we are going to continue our discussion on the social, economic, political, and cultural issues of the readings in the Philippine history. Now, in this video, we are going to talk about the Malolos Republic, the 1899 Malolos Constitution. What is it? And what were the context, the perspective, of course, and the circumstances behind the creation of this Malolos Constitution. Pero bago ang lahat, huwag kalimutang mag-like and subscribe at saka i-ring mo rin yung bell down there para ma-updated ka sa mga bagong videos at sa lahat ng videos na ating i-upload. So, simulan natin ang ating discussion. The Malolos Constitution was actually drafted when Emilio Aguinaldo already came back to the Philippines after the defeat of the Spanish colonizers in the Battle of Manila Bay on May 1, 1898. So, the newly Philippine revolutionary forces were under the control of Emilio Aguinaldo, and of course, because of this, because of the defeat, and there was now a newly established revolutionary government. The Declaration of the Philippine Independence was actually issued on June 12, 1898. And together with this declaration was the several decrees that form, of course, the first Philippine Republic. On September 17, 1898, the Malolos Congress was elected, composed of wealthy and educated men. They selected a commission to draw up a draft of Constitution. So the Congress came up with the approved Constitution now on November 29, 1898, and it was promulgated by Emilio Aguinaldo on January 21, 1898. This was titled the Political Constitution of 1899. It was written in Spanish. Now, to understand the context and the perspective of this Malolos Constitution, let's try to look at the primary source, the preamble of this Constitution. Primary source, preamble of the Political Constitution of 1899. We, the representatives of the Filipino people, lawfully convened in order to establish justice, provide for common defense, promote the general welfare, and ensure the benefits of liberty, imploring the aid of the sovereign legislator of the universe. For the attainment of these ends, have voted, decreed, and sanctioned the following political constitution. Isa sa magandang provision ng Malolos Constitution was their provision on the natural rights, no, and of course the provision of the states, no, the freedom of religion and the equality of all beliefs, no. Nandito rin yung separation ng church at saka ng state, which was in response to what was happened during the time of the Spanish occupation, in which there was no separation of the church and the state. No, kasi during the time of the Spanish occupation, the church and the state were actually united. In fact, yung mga state leaders were influenced by the decisions, no, yung mga mandates of the bishops, the priests, and the friars during their time. So, ito yung magandang provision dito. So, there was now separation of the church and the state. One thing that we have to look at also in the Malolos Constitution was their provision of the form of government, no, in which there was this declaration of the powers, and there were three distinct powers: the legislative, executive, and the judicial. So doon pa lang sa Malolos Republic meron na tayong three forms of government, which was later on we can understand that in the Constitution that we followed 1935, yung 1987 Constitution, these were also happening during the time of the Malolos Constitution. So doon nagsimula yung ating pag-create ng isang democratic form of government. However, ito yung issue ng Malolos Constitution. It was not enforced. It was not implemented fully in reality. Why? Una, because of the ongoing war, no, the Philippines was effectively a territory of the United States, no, after the Treaty of Paris. So the Philippines was sold to the Americans for the amount of 20 million US dollars. So definitely yung sovereignty ng Pilipinas was transferred from the Spaniards to the Americans. So yung biyak na bato was not implemented in reality, and the Malolos Republic was not also enforced by the government of Emilio Aguinaldo because again of the continuous occupation of the Americans. So to analyze the circumstances, did we have really our independence during these times? The answer is not. We did not have our independence. We did not have our sovereign state. We did not have an independent state during this time. There was a constitution na ginawa ng government ni Aguinaldo, but it was not implemented in reality because of the continuous occupation of the Americans. Yung sa pag-proclaim ni Emilio Aguinaldo sa Philippine independence, kung nakita niyo sa previous video natin, I actually discussed in there that during the proclamation of the Philippine independence on June 12, 1898, the government of Emilio Aguinaldo were very grateful to the Americans for their help in eliminating, the Spaniards from the Philippine area. So they were grateful of the help given by the Americans. In fact, yung paggawa ng flag natin, the colors of our flag is actually an imitation of the colors of the flag of the United States of America. So that was because in form of gratitude to the Americans. But towards the end, after that proclamation, we were not given the freedom. In fact, akala natin, we were deceived by the Americans. Definitely, we were deceived by the Americans. Akala natin magkaroon na tayo ng ating freedom, magkaroon na tayo ng kalayaan from colonizers. Pero hindi pala ganoon ang nangyari. So here comes the Americans. They occupied our nation. So they established their military government in the Philippines. So they have total control of our land. They had the total control of our people, and of course, included with that is the exploitation of our natural resources. So napakasakit isipin, Pero yung magandang nangyari is the Philippines, the Filipino people will continue to fight against the Americans. So led by Emilio Aguinaldo with his armed forces. So of course nandoon si General Antonio Luna, and yun kasi there was already a revolutionary army na naitayo ni Emilio Aguinaldo during that time. However, because of political differences, pagkawatak-watak, kulang sa disiplina, ito yung mga issue, kulang sa disiplina si Emilio Aguinaldo, na hindi madisiplina yung kanyang mga general, yung kanyang mga armed forces, so maraming mga abusado, maraming mga nagiging mga pasaway. So nagkawatak-watak, they fight against themselves. So yun yung dahilan kung bakit bumagsak din yung revolutionary government of Emilio Aguinaldo. At natalo tayo sa gera kontra Amerikano. Natalo tayo, of course, kasi pinatay nila si Luna Kapwa Pilipino rin ang pumatay kay Antonio Luna. Si Antonio Luna was there to discipline the soldiers. He was there to give orders, and napakagaling ni Antonio Luna, pero pinatay siya sa kapwa niya Pilipino. Ayun, wala nang magandang mabuti at saka matalinong general ang armed forces of the Philippines. Kaya natalo tayo, nadakip sa Aguinaldo, ayun naman. So bumagsak ang Republika ng Pilipinas that they started. And that ends our discussion about the Malolos Constitution, and of course the context, the perspective, and the issues of that particular constitution. So this is Sir Jun, and don't forget to hit the like and subscribe sa ating channel. At kung hindi mo pa napanood yung ating previous video about the Biak na Bato Republic, nandoon sa nandiyan sa mga videos ko, just search mo na lang sa videos natin. Saka, don't forget also to watch the next part of our discussion. We shall be talking about the Commonwealth Constitution. So, we are now on the third constitution. Yung una, Biak na Bato. Pangalawa, itong Malolos Constitution. And sa pangatlong video natin, we shall be talking about the 1935 Constitution. Its context, circumstances, perspective, and of course, the issues that happened about this particular constitution. This is Sir Jun, and see you sa next video natin. Bye-bye.